because I can. Welcome to the Modcast. My name's Gabe Anderson.
And I'm Jake Overall.
We're here to talk about modifying some stuff.
And some stuff you might have found over the weekend.
Yes. Are we jumping right into that one?
Yep. I want to hear all about it.
So, we met some great people this weekend. I probably should have pulled up some of their stuff now I'm thinking about it so you can at least see one of the people. But it was another snowmobile-filled weekend. Again. So,
yeah?
Yes.
What'd we get this time?
Well, I sent a bunch of we got a bunch of pictures we can share. So why don't you just go in and start opening that stuff up? Because there's one in particular when you see the picture of, hopefully, I think you're going to freak out because I lost my damn shit.
That's this one?
Yes.
Okay. Take a look.
So, just actually click right on that one.
Right here?
Yep. So, day one, and these are the people I wanted to pull up their website. This is Livingston's Motorsports in Hillsborough, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Steve Livingston, oh my goodness, he is one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. This man took us on a private tour of the entire property. Actually, no, he didn't even take us on a private tour. First time he had ever met me and my brother Grayson. He'd met my dad and my younger brother before, but first time meeting us two, he said, yeah, go walk the property. All the buildings are open. Go walk through them.
Really?
Yep. Didn't even go with us.
Just like that?
Just like that. Great guy.
Okay.
But this one in particular, this is the shed with the good stuff in it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So, this weekend involved tons and tons and tons of rare snowmobiles. I didn't get pictures of all of them, unfortunately, but I do have a couple pictures of some. In this picture here, there's two I think you're really going to like.
Okay.
So, you see the red hood. Mm-hmm. That is a Scorpion Whip TKX 440.
Okay.
The TKX is the sold to the public cross-country race sled of the year.
Gotcha.
So it has an entire aluminum subframe assembly in the front. Like, I don't have any pictures under the hood. But when we go back to pick it up...
What? Seriously?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So when we go back to pick that one up and another sled that's not pictured, actually, yeah, we'll get some better pictures of this. It's very interesting early mid-70s snowmobile racing technology. Very fast sled in the day, but the thing that made this one special is it's two gas tanks.
Two gas tanks.
Two.
Why?
And a switch on the front. Cross country. Less pit stops for fuel.
I see.
More on sled storage. And the TKX also got a cushier seat.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's only a couple pictures of it. It's this one picture you can see, and then the next couple are the decal on the side, and then I think I took a picture of the VIN tag just for some other stuff. But
look at that. Seat looks awesome.
And look at the condition it's in. Yeah. Seat isn't perfect. There's the cracking you can see there. There's some other stuff.
Yeah, but what year is this sled again?
Actually, I think it's on the next picture. 78.
Okay. I mean, I've got Indies that look worse than that are way newer.
Oh, yeah. So actually, go back to that first picture one more time. We got one other thing. Wicked cool. Not for sale already. I already tried, trust me. But the Polaris right behind the Scorpion there.
Yeah, I was wondering.
A 500 triple.
What?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. It's an Indy Centurion 500 triple.
That's wicked cool.
Well, I'm going to rephrase that. It's supposed to be a 500 triple.
Okay.
It does have a 650 in it.
Oh, no.
So there's actually two Centurion 500 triples on that property that both of them had the engines replaced before anybody got their hands on them.
That's a bummer.
It was a bummer, but it is a real 500 triple chassis.
So in theory,
if you could find the engine, you could replace it.
Yep.
But there's a bunch of cool stuff in there. Some of the stuff is not for sale in the picture here. Some of it is. I did ask him for permission to take pictures and whatnot when we were there. So
definitely.
But yeah, you can see kind of in the front corner here that little purple hood sticking out. That's another Viking he has. That one's halfway through being restored. Like that's one of I don't know. There were Vikings damn everywhere when we were there.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's a big Viking guy. That's where the green Viking came from. We got. If you want to just kind of click over, not to that first video you had already seen a little bit of, but the next one that we have going. This one might take a second to load. I hope not. But this will just give you an idea of the sheer amount of snowmobiles we got to see at this one property.
Whoa.
I mean, it was a sea of snowmobiles.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just a really cool thing. He's been doing parts for a long time. It was a bunch of really cool... Mm-hmm. All the stuff that was outside was part sleds.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like, oh, wow, it was hundreds of perfect condition things. But it was just really cool to be able to see and go through all that stuff. You don't get the opportunity to do that.
Even to have all the part sleds for the rare sleds is like...
And he had some, like, like the white hood you can see right in the middle of the screen right there. That's a boa ski.
A boa ski?
Boa ski. Yeah, like, it's a very uncommon snowmobile.
Yeah.
Like, and he just has tons of them laying around with nothing. Like,
He's living in a different era a little bit.
But so we learned a couple of fun things from Steve. So his Livingston's Motorsports is like intertwined with Arctic Cat's history.
Okay.
So the Boss Cat, which is the early 70s top fuel speed racing snowmobiles, right?
Crazy.
The original Boss Cat was in the era of top speed racing where you didn't have to have a snowmobile engine on your snowmobile to call it a snowmobile.
Right, yeah,
So
we've talked about this before. Let's
do Legacy, Boss Cat Legacy. It's actually a website that's dedicated to all this stuff. But they did a big promotional deal. Arctic Cat came out to the East Coast, right to Livingston's Motorsports.
Really?
With the original Boss Cat, and did a whole promotion when in the 80s the sled was sponsored by, I think he said it was Tony's Pizza and Dr. Pepper.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Tony's Pizza and Dr. Pepper.
Yep. So he said he was like 14 at the time, and he said he was sick of drinking Dr. Pepper by the time they ran out. He was like, I couldn't take it anymore. So not the Boss Cat Zero. Yeah. Boss Cat 1.
Ooh.
Turbine powered.
Okay.
Yes. Serious snowmobile. This snowmobile sat at Livingston's Motorsports for 2 years in its custom-built trailer designed specifically for that snowmobile. And they were like, what the hell? Why have nobody come to pick this thing up? When they got a phone call one day that was somebody at Arctic Cat basically saying like, hey, do you guys happen to know where the Boss Cat is? Because we kind of haven't seen it in a while.
They didn't even know?
They didn't know where it was. They lost it. Arctic Cat lost the Boss Cat, and it was at Livingston's Motorsports for 2 years.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like, of all things.
Yeah.
Like, how do you lose that?
That's super cool. Look at this. Look at the old clippings.
Holy crap. This website is something definitely to go through in the day. I'm pretty sure this is the Boss Cat he was referring to. He didn't give a specific number when he was telling us that, so I assumed it was this Boss Cat.
Even if it wasn't, though, like, the other ones are still super cool.
Yeah.
Like,
but, I mean, he has, racing memorabilia everywhere. He has old clippings. Actually, one of my personal sleds that I restored when I was just like 13 was a 1968 Arctic Cat Panther, sled. He has an original centerfold of a newspaper hanging up in their new showroom at the dealership that says 68 Panther takes first, third, and fourth in some cross-country race from back in the day. Shit. And it was the racer that took first place, like, lived in New Hampshire, and he was, it was really...
That's super cool.
Oh, it was incredibly cool to see.
It'd be awesome to have that along with the Panther. That'd be so cool.
Oh, I know. He would never get rid of it, though. But we have a couple other things. If you want to skip, we'll see what the next... This will go along, I think, with the sled that you're going to lose your mind that we found some stuff to.
Okay.
So, I was... On Sunday now.
Yeah.
I was with my brothers and my dad, and we were out looking at this other guy's collection. My brother Grayson was buying a couple of Skidoo TNTs that he wants to race with this year.
Okay.
And we're going through the property, and I'm up in the attic of this guy's shop, right? And out of the corner of my eye, I see this engine. Now, I don't want to say what it's to just yet, just because you haven't seen the picture of the sled it goes to, which, trust me, you will in a second.
Okay.
But when I saw that sitting there, I about lost my mind because you will never find the parts. You will never find this, ever.
Seriously?
This is just not something that you just happen to find on somebody's shelf. Like, you can't just walk into a snowmobile collector's house and pull this engine in this configuration. Like, they don't just have it laying there. This is rare stuff.
Okay, what does this come out of?
And you'll be tickled because we've had a couple. Keep on. So, I actually originally saw it. This is where it was sitting on the shelf here. I actually originally saw it with the because of the exhaust. I knew what it was the second I saw the exhaust pipe, which made me tickled, absolutely tickled pink. We were up in his attic for another reason involving the same sled, so I can't still. But just this awesome thing. I actually have a video that you can see where it was sitting in his attic, and you'll be able to kind of just see it in the corner of one shot. Something we'll release later so other people can see it, but it was absolute parts mania. So the first place we went was there's just some other stuff like it's an original John Deere 440 liquid engine, but I found out those are reed cage engines.
Really?
Yeah, out of the 80s.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's why I was drawn to it, because I think the next picture you can see the reed ports on it. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I was like, we're talking 80s tech? Like,
yeah, John Deere, let's go.
So now I might, know some other brand engines I'm going to start looking into.
Yep.
But you can probably just jump a couple. I think the chassis that is in question will be coming up. That was a 440 as well. So actually, this is the video. This is what the attic of this place looked like, right?
Holy shit.
I mean, just parts everywhere. Like, just absolutely strewn about. But if you're looking in this next little thing coming up here, that's the engine.
Oh, shit.
That's where I saw it.
Wow.
Yeah, like, dumb luck I happened to see it, right?
Yeah.
But just, it was, the overload of the same video was just turned. I got to find a Stingerette.
Okay.
Which, now,
what the fuck?
Now, this guy is a passionate scorpion collector, or like one of his big things he does, right? Mm-hmm. And I know a couple things about scorpions, especially with that whip that we're now going to be acquiring at some point.
Right.
And the thing about a Stingerette is, in the era where they would like completely recolor something to market it between like men and women, there was the Scorpion Stinger and there was the Scorpion Stingerette.
Gotcha.
The Stingerettes are incredibly rare snowmobiles because they're pink metal flake hoods with pink metal flake seats.
What?
Yes.
Unfortunately,
this one is spanked beyond all belief. Yeah. And I asked him, because they're incredibly rare snowmobiles, I said to him, well, I don't know about incredibly rare. They're very rare. I said to him, I was like, hey, do you have any of these anywhere? I had walked right past this one. It's so faded, I thought it was a regular Stinger. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, yeah, there's a piece of crap one sitting out in the yard. You didn't see it? I was like, I had never seen a Stingerette in person. So, I don't know. Even though it's a piece of junk,
still cool.
I did it.
I've seen
one. I've seen it. That's all that matters. I just want to see one in the wild. I didn't get a picture of his rarest snowmobile, which was the rarest snowmobile of the weekend, which I'm already in line to purchase.
Seriously?
Yes. Which it isn't for sale right now,
but
I'm the first person in line, hopefully. Johnson Rampage, another pretty uncommon snowmobile. You can see he had just stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
You had got a chance to see this, some other just scroll through nonsense. Truck full of stuff. Do you see what it is?
It's a Prowler.
That
$295.
That is a Whippet.
That's
Prowler.
Oh, yep, there it is.
That is
right there.
Ungodly rare New England snowmobile heritage. That is the only snowmobile ever produced in the state of Maine.
So is that the third one now?
This is the fourth one.
The fourth one now.
That engine that I pulled out of his thing was a complete carburetor shield to exhaust tip, complete Whippet engine.
Not missing
a single damn thing. It's locked up,
but
I don't care. I'll rebuild it.
It's all there.
You can't get that exhaust manifold. Mm-mm. That was, as far as I know, was a Whippet only thing, and the intake manifold, intake and exhaust, both like Whippet only.
Yeah,
you can get the engine out of something else,
right?
But you can't get those parts.
Yeah,
and they're original parts.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, this is actually all we purchased was the hood, the cowl, and the engine. The rest of that's an Arctic Cat Panther.
No shit. Okay.
In 1972, I think it was Jayco or Mayco, some brand that was in Maine, in Maine. I got to look into a couple of the more parts again and get a little history down on it. They purchased all of the leftover 70 and 71 Arctic Cat chassis, turned them into Whippets.
Makes sense.
So if you had an Arctic Cat Panther, the parts directly cross over. So we're going to call this one the Whippish
Whip-ish.
we have a lot of original Whip-It parts.
Yep.
And believe it or not, this guy we go to in Maine, his grandfather was a Whip-It dealer.
Nice.
And he had tons of original paperwork. He had other Whip-Its as well that were very much so not for sale.
Yeah.
But it was very cool that we were able to go and meet somebody that had these parts because they're incredibly rare. I mean, they were made for 3 years.
That's, yeah.
Which
and
we
that
actually...
was, what, and you said 72, so first year was what?
72.
72, 73, 74.
So it was so limited production in 1972, I thought production started in 73.
Oh, okay.
It was only through learning from him that they were made in 72 as well. Also, interestingly enough, with segmented tracks like a tank. So instead of being one big rubber track, it was a pinned segmented track.
Is that for, like, serviceability?
I really don't know.
What was the theory behind that?
He didn't have an example for it, but he actually had an original segment for a 72, which also was not for sale.
Yeah,
but
of course not.
No. But
can't say I blame him.
This is just, I mean, this was just to top off the weekend. We were not expecting, we were talking to the guy just shooting the shit in the driveway. And my dad had gone walking out back to go just kind of start looking around the property. And he comes out and he goes, so, is that Whip-It out back for sale? And I was just like, you said the what for sale?
The what for sale? I remember we got 2 of them, didn't we? Together that one night?
We did.
Dude,
like,
that was so...
It's riding a high finding these crazy rare snowmobiles. Like, the Scorpion, or even, like, the night that we got them. I mean, like, to show up with something that... I mean, I know of a handful of these now. I mean, they were produced. It was a mass-produced thing. Mm-hmm. But, like, there's so few and so little known about them that it's just cool to be able to, like, you know, be part of the history of them.
Yeah, they born and died in New England, so why not find it? You know?
Exactly, and that's the thing is like we used to, whenever one of these came up for sale, which was previous to these parts we've purchased, I've seen 4 for sale total. Mm-hmm. We bought 3 of them.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, oh, it's just kind of, it's a cool thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that pretty much ends my snowmobile rant. Oh, actually, no, there's one more. I totally forgot. There's one more, and you know this one, because you've had to help move it. And I think you'll see a picture of it, and you're going to hate it.
I've had to move a lot of them.
No. You've had to move this one.
Oh, this one?
We reacquired a snowmobile that you and I hated to move growing up.
Uh-oh.
Which, you can see it in the picture.
Oh, no. Oh, come on.
The Raider.
Why?
The same one.
Seriously?
In all of its clapped out glory.
Yeah, look at it, dude. So what is the plan for this now?
Who knows? We gave it away to somebody and they gave it back.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, I didn't do anything with it. You want to try again? Sure.
Why not?
Look at the size of the skis on that thing, though.
Oh, and it's like the whole pogo stick and, oh, God.
Oh, it's terrifying. It's weird.
It'll kill you. It's a full fiberglass body. You roll over. You know, the strongest thing is the handlebars in your neck.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking Raider.
Wow. So yeah, we actually owned this snowmobile. I think my dad and I determined we purchased it originally like 15 years ago, and then probably got rid of it 10 years ago. And then just on Saturday, just on the way back from Livingston's, we called the guy up and he's like, "Hey, you want us to come get that now?" And he's like, "Please."
Wow.
Yep.
Came right back around.
Yep. So anyway, that is now actually officially the end of my snowmobile rant. No more sled stuff, but we got some more cool sled stuff.
I'm excited to see. Are they still doing the show over at the antique snowmobile show that they had over at the mountain?
At Moose Mountain?
Yeah.
Unfortunately not, thanks to the political bullshit of the people that live in my town and the town that Moose Mountain is located in, which, without saying the town name.
Yeah. Look it up.
Yeah. Basically, they put a kibosh on that because the neighbors complained way too much that there was so much traffic and so much noise the one day a year that we did it.
What? Like, come on.
But supposedly the Seven Lakes Snowmobile Club has teamed up with Hobbs Brewing in Ossipee, New Hampshire, and they're going to be holding a vintage show and trail ride there.
Okay.
So right on a trailhead, it'll still be a good time.
Yep.
It's just in actually way easier access.
Oh, definitely.
Which is also a nice thing.
But,
so.
you know, it was cool to have the Moose Mountain thing because there was a hill climb going on.
Oh, yeah, and we could ride from the house.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate. But either way, if we can get some of these out to the new show, that'd be cool.
And the best part is most of them run, which we can't say that about our old collection, because that was not the case with the old one.
No, that was most often working on them, not running them.
Yes. It was nice to have the parts laying around, though.
So this past weekend, I got to fulfill a little fanboy dream of mine for a car.
I saw a little accidental snippet of this, but I am not only beyond excited for you, I mean, come on.
It's so cool. It's so fucking cool. So the car in question is a
Scion TC.
No. Well, so we'll just start with the underhood here. So he told me quite a bit about this car. I didn't soak everything up, but basically, from what I gathered, this rotating assembly should be capable of 4 digits.
I like 4-digit numbers.
I think,
Columbus are my friend.
Yep. I think he said something. He may have an aftermarket block in it as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think the way that it sits now, it's supposed to be north of like 400. So it's pretty decent. All-wheel drive.
What is the whole car in question?
This is a 3000 GT VR4.
Like 80s?
Early 90s. So I'm not an expert on these. I just remember, I think it was like 90, 91, 92, maybe 93. They had these pop-up headlights.
Okay. Pop up and down headlights.
I got the pop-up headlight picture.
Yes.
So he put custom ones in, which he was telling me he had to reverse the polarity to get it to work, which was cool. So
Interesting.
Yep. He had to do some custom wiring for this. It's a big front mount, but it's a twin turbo V6 that's longitudinal, so he's having some boost and starvation issues and stuff. He's still ironing it out. But
too much acceleration, throwing oil at the back of the pan and that
probably.
type of stuff.
You know, he's had this car for 7 years. It was his first car, and this is what he's done to it. So
I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, we're going the wrong way. So that's the little motor thing to adjust the headlights.
That's awesome. So like you can actually control how much they come up. That's so cool.
How much up they have, and actual Gen 2 brakes is what he told me. Fully rebuilt Mitsubishi big brake kit for this car.
Wow. That is 80s as hell. Look at the fucking block lettering on that. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's incredible.
Twin turbo. Had to snag that. That's his Instagram for it. This thing sounds great. Here's a little video. He has the OEM radio in this car.
Look at that interior.
Yeah.
Oh, with the swooped gauges at you. Come on.
So
and the whole equalizer too.
It's got the equalizer, and it's actually, I think he said that it has some touch functions from the 90s.
A+ on Mitsubishi. Okay.
For those who don't know, this car was all-wheel drive, as I mentioned. It was also all-wheel steering,
which is
and this
not done
car
enough. Underrated.
Came factory with active front and rear aero.
It was the absolute pinnacle of like 90s space age technology. I don't want to call space race stuff, but like, you know, active stuff, doing all like, I don't know, is 80s.
Yeah.
80s, 90s. It was awesome.
They were trying to push for the edge of performance in every way that they could, you know, given the technology at the time, and they just went bananas.
And it did, into a great chassis, and it did very well as a car too.
Yeah. Just people tended to shy away from those and go more towards like a Supra or something because it was simpler.
Yeah.
You know, this had a ton of technology and it went wrong, kind of like the Nissan 300ZX.
It's all the advanced. This car came in probably 10 years too early.
Yep.
10 years later, and this would have been, you know, lights out with everything.
Here's an exhaust clip of the...
And the fact, so I like the fact it's registered antique as well. That makes me very happy.
Yeah.
It's just cool. It's cool to see that something like that gets an antique plate now. Like,
Yep.
bruh.
It doesn't feel that way. We're getting old, man.
No.
But yeah, that was my cool little meetup. I did get his information, and I'm probably going to have him in to talk more about this in detail.
I would very much enjoy that. Ask him why he modifies it.
Yep. Exactly.
And that one in particular, because that is, I know that's a car that was very popular in the tuner community and everything at the time, but like, it's not one you see done often.
Right.
At least not anymore.
Yeah, I was pulling off the highway, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw those headlights and a front mount, and I was just like, oh, I know what that is.
So, did you just like flag him down?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we pulled up to a stoplight, and he had his window down. He goes, because I was driving my car, he's like, what's the setup on that? He's like, that's not stock. I'm like, no. I'm like, Vortex supercharger. It's on like 6 PSI right now, probably. He was like, that's sick, man. And so, like, we were just cruising up the road, and I just saw a place to pull over, and I waved my hand, and he pulled in right behind me.
That's fantastic.
And we talked for like 10 minutes, so.
Oh, I love the fact that people are willing to do that too.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's awesome.
What a great color on that car too. I'm usually not a pearl white fan.
Yeah.
Was that more of the pearl white or was that more of the plain
It was
white?
a pearl white. Like, it was there was a sheen to it that was kind of like grayish.
Yeah,
It was
it's tastefully done.
very nice.
That's a very nice color. I don't like them when they have like the yellowy tint to
Right.
the pearl. Not a fan
Yeah.
of that.
No, this was a very clean car. He's a young guy too. He's probably around our age, so
Oh, sweet.
yeah.
Okay.
Which kind of surprised me to see him pull up next to me. I was like, oh shit.
See, but that comes, I was just saying, like, it's an underdone car, at least at this time. It's cool to see that, people in our age group are still going after those
yeah.
cars.
We love the tuner cars still. Like, we grew up on the Fast and the Furious and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like, even Smokey and the Bandit was a little old for us, but a lot of us saw it. So
I don't know. I'm a freak. I try to go back and I want to watch all of the movies that have, like, classic car chase scenes.
yeah.
My personal favorite being the Bullet Mustang,
I was
or
gonna
Steve
say.
McQueen's Bullet. Mm-hmm. Mustangs and shit. But
I remember when they came out with the new version of the Bullet Edition. That was actually a pretty sweet car. We got one at the dealership I worked at the time.
it was really cool that they were able to pay the homage to that car, especially with all the history and stuff. It's probably something, I know it's way overdone, people talking about it, but it's still something like being a Mustang guy and a big history guy. It's something we will talk about at some point in time.
Oh, yeah.
Between the two of the Bullet Mustangs that were found. Found. One was found, one was the right people knew where it was.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's good.
yeah.
At least it was kept away in the right place. Because we do need to save at least, like, one,
Yes.
of
Oh, yeah,
these
absolutely.
things.
Well, so the classic outside of the movie car was like the one I think you might have seen. I saw it at SEMA when I went out.
Okay.
And I got to get a couple of pictures of it, and had like all of the like allure of stuff where you're like, oh, did it actually have the tape on the tack that said like no? Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Which was, the story is basically he was over revving it and blowing these engines up.
Yeah.
I think it was a 390 big block, I think is what that was. Oh, a decent sized engine.
Yeah.
Like, just a good car.
Over revving a big
He was
block.
over revving it and blowing them up. So his producer, whoever the hell it was, basically got in the car and put a piece of tape on the tack, and he wasn't allowed to rev it past that point in time.
It's kind of like Ford versus Ferrari, where they were trying to control their RPM.
Yeah.
And he just was like, go for it.
You just send it.
Yeah, just send it.
But the car that shot the outside scenes
Okay.
was the family that purchased it. They knew they had it. They knew what it was.
Right.
They just didn't tell anybody that
Yeah.
they had it.
You don't blame them.
There was one that was shot inside of the car that was actually found stripped in Mexico.
Whoa.
And the people that had bought it were having it shipped to a shop in California that specialized in converting them into Eleanor Mustangs.
Oh, no way.
When the Mustang, because they're still Mustang specialists, just,
Yeah.
they do that. They were looking at the car and they were like,
Wait a minute.
because they like read the paint code off the original car and it was the whatever dark green, that the
green,
Mustang
yeah.
was. And they were like, there wasn't many cars painted in that color. Like,
No.
we need to, and they were able to confirm it because for the lighting on the inside of the car, I love how I said like, oh, we'll do it eventually. Here I am.
Yeah.
The lighting on the inside of the car at this point in time, they had to have a generator in the car to run the lighting because
Right.
it's just how powerful it was
Yeah.
and how bad the technology was at the time. So they actually drilled holes in the trunk floor and they ran
shit.
the exhaust for the generator out the bottom of the trunk. So that's how they knew it was the car, because when they got in the back, they found the original generator mount, and they found like the exhaust
holes.
holes and stuff, and they're like, oh shit, this is the Bullet Mustang.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been an intense day at the shop.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're just sitting there like, what did we just
Holy
find? As far as I know, it's been restored properly to a Bullet Mustang, not to an
Awesome.
Eleanor. So
That makes me happy.
anyway, back to our 3000 GT now. My tangent's done.
Yeah, just another cool...
I'm glad he said. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad he stopped and talked, because that's, you don't get the courtesy of that anymore.
No, usually not.
Yeah, because
There's a lot of people out there with modified cars who just want to roll race.
Yeah, seriously.
That's all they want, and it's like, hey, why don't we
Hey, your car's cool. Can I talk about it?
Yeah.
Race me, bro.
Yeah, race me. Okay. Speaking of racing, I got a bone to pick with Red Bull.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of rumors going around. They haven't confirmed anything, but it has to do with Sergio Perez not being re-signed at the end of his contract, which it doesn't... I believe the end of his contract is 2024, so potentially... Or 2025. I think he has this season and the season after left. So this all came after he had the third race of this year in Australia, which was complete and utter BS because there were 3 red flags. They finished under a safety car.
What?
Yeah. And it's a street circuit in Australia.
Right.
That all the young kids apparently don't know how to drive at because they just kept crashing.
Right. Seriously.
Yeah, they just kept throwing it into the wall, and then it would be like, safety car, red flag. And then they'd sit around and wait for like an hour.
To get the car
Get
cleared.
the car cleared, get all the gravel
What?
off, like just, making debris everywhere.
And they finished under a safety car?
Finished under a safety car.
What in the holy hell? Why?
Max won the race, which is great. Happy for Max.
Right. Good for him, I guess.
Checo came in
Seems like
7th.
it's got a little asterisk next to his win, but whatever.
Yeah. Checo came in 7th. He started in 20th, which is last. On a street circuit with 3 red flags.
I was saying when half the team or half the field DNFs, but
To be fair, he passed most of them by the time
that's fair.
They crashed. But they just dropped this kind of media news bomb thing going on. It's all rumor type stuff, but there's always leaks, and some of the rumors have some serious merit in this world of politics and crap.
Of the whole F1,
Yeah,
now that it's
just-
a whole Netflix thing. And
Yeah,
everything.
the dirty
Yeah.
side of Formula One.
Yeah, the stuff that nobody ever wants to talk about.
And Checo's a great
Except
driver,
us.
and actually, he had a better fantasy score after that race. He came in 7th than Max did because he came from behind to take more places.
Right. I would say
Then
if you
Max
start first
did.
and finish first or whatever, like...
Right, or you
You've
start
passed
second
0
and finish
cars.
first.
Exactly.
And the week before, Max started in 15th and finished second behind Sergio.
Okay.
So he passed a lot of people.
Yeah.
But,
Gained a lot of points.
yeah. But Sergio has a little bit more.
Huh.
And they're talking about replacing him with some of the junior drivers in the Red Bull program already.
Do you think this is just because they're going to stand behind Max for no reason?
Probably.
For every reason?
Yeah. So
Sick.
Max's father is heavily involved in the upper end of the Red Bull team. And his father used to be a Formula One driver.
Of
and
course. So his son is the best driver on the planet. I'm not saying he's a bad driver.
He's a great driver.
He's a great driver. He's a fucking better driver than me. It's at least that much. But if other people are beating you, are you the best driver?
Right. Especially if it's your teammate in the same machinery. And
Yep.
you can't catch him.
When it's literally one of those deals of it's the only difference is the driver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Simple math states that it'd be the driver.
Yeah. So it's frustrating as a Checo fan, to say the least. But I'd like to see them keep him and maybe Max and him figure their shit out and realize that if both of them are coming in first and second every weekend,
They get really big paychecks.
they get really big paychecks and the team still wins.
Hello.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, end of season bonuses, contracts. And
Right.
There's kind of like what I was saying with that poster from earlier, where you can advertise, this thing came in first, third, and fourth. Or
Yeah.
what, like, that holds a lot of weight. I mean, there's
course.
a lot of weight to the what wins on Sunday sells on Monday type of thing, right?
And especially with Red Bull trying to establish their own powertrain division with Ford, like the extra money would be kind of nice, don't you think?
You would think so.
Yeah.
But
And Checo brings in...
if there's any merit, apparently not.
I think he's got the third highest in sponsorship money that he brings to the team as a driver in all of F1. The only other two are, I think, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and Mercedes Lewis Hamilton.
Interesting. I thought Max would have been real high up on there.
Nope.
Bad personality?
Bad personality, great driver.
Yeah. Okay. So that sounds like the faster driver that has the better personality is the one you want to cut.
Yep.
Doesn't really add up.
And like on his bad days, he has bad days, but on his best days, he's better than everybody, I think.
I mean, it sure seems that way, at least at this point in time. If you're talking he's passing over half the field.
Right. And he was on a good, like, it wasn't like he was far behind the other cars either when that final red flag came out. And then they finished under safety car. Like, with some moves, if he had picked up, he had faster pace in practice and in qualifying than most of his laps on race day.
That's kind of sad.
So you figure he's low on fuel. He's pretty well worn into the tires. He could probably put in some hot laps at the end of the race and maybe make some moves. He maybe could have found...
Actually, I see what you mean. Grip your tires, less weight in the car.
Right. He could have found himself around, I don't know, 4th in that race, which makes him...
20th to 4th?
Yeah.
That's 16 positions.
Makes him one hell of a driver on a street circuit.
You would sure think so.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're not talking a dedicated racetrack, like you said. I mean, it's street.
Oh, yeah.
Literal streets. So
Paved over lines, or painted over lines, but it's a street.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's very interesting.
I can't believe those guys still race in like Monaco and stuff. It's so tight. Like,
I mean,
I don't even know.
More balls than I got. I don't know if I could wheel something that... Oh, actually, let me rephrase that. I know I could not wheel something that fast or something like that.
Nope.
Not happening.
Me either. Not a chance.
No.
But I am making an effort to wheel a little bit faster in my own little machine.
All right.
I got some ground control coilovers that are going on some KYB Excel G struts, which is basically just an OEM replacement.
But KYB's nice.
But KYB's nice as far as I know.
Yep.
So I'm going to give it a shot. These are basically a build your own coilover setup.
Now, I remember you got these things like a year ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought them. They had made their way to eBay. They no longer had existed on one of the neighborhood Scion parts websites, fastscions.com.
Okay.
So I was like, well, if there's only 2 left on the eBay store and they're not anywhere else, then I'm going to buy them just in case.
I need it now.
Yeah, I'm going to need them. So let's just get them.
Have you rechecked that store?
They're back in the Fast Scion store.
Interesting.
Yep. And so are a couple other coilover brands that weren't there before.
Okay.
So it actually kind of seems like people are making parts for these things again, just because they're cheap cars to buy,
and
I would guess.
The modding community. I mean, hell, we can't go buy brand new cars anymore because they've sure outpriced us on those.
Oh, yeah. $20,000 upcharge on a $30,000 car makes it not an affordable car anymore.
Yeah. At Ford and their dealerships with the RS.
Yeah. Ford, Toyota does it. Mazda
They all
probably
do
does
it.
it.
They all
They all
fucking
do
do
it.
it. They all do
BMW does it.
They're stealerships.
Yeah. And, I mean, you're really just putting food in the mouth of people who... I mean, they're literally trying to get as much money from you as possible and give you as little for your trade-in as possible.
Of course.
So, I mean, I don't know
They're
about
trying.
you.
They got to make the cut.
That
You
doesn't
can't
sound like
make the cut.
customer service to me.
No. Well, it's one type of service.
Sounds like
It's not one I
self-service.
like.
But that's just my humble opinion.
So some ground control coilovers. So basically, you disassemble a regular strut.
Yep.
And then this will sit like on the original perches and all that stuff.
Yeah. So the red sleeve, like with all the threading, basically you take the cap off, like the metal cap on the end of the strut.
Where the like bottom of the spring bucket sits.
Above that. So
Okay.
basically where the actual push rod goes into the strut.
Yeah.
Take that cap off, slide that back on, put the cap back on. There's some O-rings you're supposed to put in there that are supposed to prevent moisture and chattering and stuff from getting in between that and the body of the actual strut.
All right. Oh, cool.
These are popular in BMW world, so
Okay.
I'm gonna see if they work. They've been used in Civic world too. So if I hate them, then I'll just go get some BC racing coilovers and call it a day. Oh no! But I figured I'd give my go at this and just see if I can do it to my satisfaction. You know,
that's definitely it's like the step up from what's in my car right now, but then like the step down from, well, not that Racelands are much of a step over that,
right?
But like right now my car is literally just factory replacement, like the cheapest fucking AutoZone whatever struts,
right?
The original springs off of that other guy's car that we talked about in a couple episodes ago, and then not the springs, idiot, lowering springs on it.
Yeah.
And then I had to put brand new top hats on them, but
right.
So lowering springs to coilover conversion.
Coilover conversion, they call them adjustable lowering springs.
Okay.
They're Eibach Pros.
Oh, so, hey, that's what's on my car.
Yeah.
They did. Well, I tell you what, one thing I will say is the Eibach Pros ride very nice.
Yeah.
At
I've
least
heard these
in
are
the lower
noisy,
spring.
so that could be a problem.
They are very noisy. So mine, turning lock to lock, they pop.
Okay.
That's probably what they're talking about. At least I would assume so, because I know that's a big thing with mine as well. But
yeah. This gets me, I think they said like a half an inch lower to like 3.5 inches lower. So I got some.
So 3.5.
Yeah. No, not going slammed. Yeah, no. Too many slam Scions out there. I'm good. But yeah.
Track mode Scion.
Track mode Scion. Be cool to put some auto dampening struts on something like this.
So you're
like an active system.
You mean like a Magna Ride type of?
Yes and no. Basically the same idea, but there's all sorts of different versions of that in the OEM. So
I guess I'm just being GM.
That's GM guy.
That's the one I know.
Yeah.
Just
basically, it's always
not saying it is the best one, but
yeah, it's okay. They fail a lot.
It is.
So.
It is really just okay, but
they fail a lot. That's what I've seen. That's my one hesitation with their Magna Ride, and they're really expensive to replace.
Oh yeah. I don't like seeing. We actually cut. What's the Toyota hydraulic system in the
KDSS?
Is that the
or
corner
X-Reyes?
X-Reyes is corner to corner. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact those systems are insane amounts of money to replace OEM, because you would know more like on how you do the actually. Have you ever installed?
Oh yeah.
Redone them? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want to know how I uninstalled them? Fucking cutters.
Oh.
Tink.
Oh no.
I was replacing them with full coilovers.
Oh,
so
I wish I could have been there.
You should see that everything was just bleeding out the bottom of it. Oh yeah, I made that bitch drip, boy.
They are designed to self-seal if you undo them in the right spot, so you can reuse them.
I would have liked to have known that.
That's why I'm hurting over here. I'm like, I would have kept that
was a thing
in a storage unit.
Oh, man.
Because
they did take them back.
Okay.
They did want them for the reselling purpose, but
yeah, not reselling those ones.
Well, hey, you tried.
Yeah.
Wait, so where do you take it off then?
Well,
not at the junction where you take the thing and go snip?
No. Nope, not there. Definitely not there. So there's like a banjo bolt that comes to the strut. Basically looks like a rubber brake line.
Yeah.
So if you take the skid plate on the very bottom of the truck off,
that's too much work.
Yeah, it's 4 bolts, you fucking pussy. Take 4 fucking bolts out, and there's these. They kind of look like AN fittings.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean on there.
Yeah, you just undo those, and there's a check valve in there, and it closes it off.
Oh, so the banjo bolt that you thread in like opens the valve, and then when you unthread it,
don't undo the banjo bolt.
Not to the rubber line.
Right. You want to undo the union.
The next one.
Yeah.
And when you
where the metal line comes in.
Yeah, I'd cut it right there.
Yeah. Oh. Yep. That. Yeah. No. Oh my god.
Hey, I've only done it to like 3 of them.
Oh, it's only like thousands of dollars of suspension stuff.
They didn't care about them anymore.
Okay.
Well, except the one people wanted to sell them.
Yeah.
We asked them if we could cut them out, and they said yes. So
we
cut them out.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. One of them we did replace because the system was bad. Now,
those ones you can fucking throw away because if they leak, they're
junk.
junk. The whole thing's junk.
Both sides?
End to end. So, like, if the right rear leaks, the left front is junk.
Right.
You got to replace everything in between.
That's gross.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know what the X-ray system is, we've kind of described it a little bit, but basically, your passenger rear shock and your driver's front shock are connected hydraulically, and then vice versa. Driver's rear, passenger front. The system itself is, the theory behind it is very cool. So it's the idea is if you have a lot of pressure going up on, say, your passenger front, it'll put more pressure down in the back to keep the vehicle like leveled out and good stability control. It is a great thing. It's just when they leak, they're like fucking $6,000 to replace the system. I mean, it is absolutely, literally you could do an entire, so coming from the lift kit side of it, that's like coilovers, full new front suspension, full new rear suspension, and you get a better looking vehicle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's, it's lifted or custom or whatever the case is, right? Like, that's why that's why we've cut the couple out. But the other one being KDSS, which that's a hydraulically controlled
kinetic dynamic suspension system.
Basically, it's just like a hydraulic ram on your sway bar, right?
Yeah, so it's a hydraulic disconnect essentially. Okay. So it'll prevent it from doing its job if you're going off road.
Okay, fair enough.
That you would normally want it to do on the road. So it allows more travel on your suspension.
So now, are there any KDSS X-Rayus vehicles?
No.
Okay, because I would hate to work on one of those.
Nope, not that I'm aware of. If there are, stay away from me.
Please.
I don't want it.
Oh my goodness.
That's horrible. But yeah, I can't find any good examples. But basically, if you want to know more about X-Rayus, just Google it and read about it.
X-R-E-A-S.
Yep.
X-Rayus.
There's YouTube videos on it.
Hey, how to remove X-Rayus from a thing? Snip, unbolt, gone.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts so much. That's okay, though. It's not my truck.
In the defense of the people, their vehicles are very cool the way they are now.
Yeah.
So don't you worry about it.
Awesome. Well,
we did what's called the X-Rayus big ass delete.
Wow.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, I think that was the Modcast.
Was that the Modcast?
That was the Modcast.
Wow, I don't even know how long that was. It was interesting.
Long
Snowmobile
enough.
talk. Got some more F1 stuff. I still haven't watched any of that because, I was too busy, looking at snowmobiles, honestly. Yeah.
Keep my boy in a Red Bull, please.
Yeah, please. If not, you're going to see him wearing a different hat. We're going to burn that one.
If they don't keep him, I hope he goes to Aston Martin and he kicks their ass. So I'll be wearing an Aston Martin hat if that's the case.
We're hoping that. Well, that he stays.
Yeah, I'd like to see him in a Red Bull.
We'll find out, though.
We'll see, Christian. What are you going to do?
Oh, it's a call out.
Watching
I like
you.
it. I'm not doing it. I'm just backing him up, I guess.
Well,
how are we entering this? I don't know. Transitions. We're good at it. All right. So you had something that you forgot about that we need to add.
Yep. So
that's how we're. We can redo that if you want.
Snow pony. Snow pony.
Snow pony.
There's more about the snow pony.
Oh, interesting.
So your dad got one of, what'd you say, 4 that are known about? Super rare?
That we've been able to find, yeah.
Okay. I've got something that's one of the only, it is the only one I've found.
What do you got? Oh, no way. What do we got?
I got something in the mail. And I'm hoping it's authentic because...
Oh, brother.
It's a snow pony patch.
Oh, that is 1,000%. That's a real patch.
Yep.
Dude.
Show the peoples.
Let's see if we can get it up on the...
Yeah.
We'll zoom in on that in a second. Snow pony. Dude.
Yep.
That is killer. Look at that. Without a doubt, that's definitely how they do the old school patches. Oh, man. Put a thumbtack right through the middle of it.
Yeah. Ideally, I'd like to put it on that jacket.
Oh, we will. We have a pretty cool jacket we're going to put in the display for a little bit for right now. Yeah, look at
There it is.
Look at that.
Snow Pony.
Snow Pony, actually. Yeah, we'll block the Mac logo. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Unless they won't sponsor us.
I've paid them so much money. If they want to pay me some, that'd be cool.
Exactly. Dude.
So, yeah.
Snow Pony things. I'm going to get some pictures of that so we can, we'll show, or maybe we can bring it back. Maybe I'll try and get all the stuff put on this week.
Hell yeah.
Adding more to the collection. Vintage snowmobilia. All right. Now, this has been the Modcast. My name's Gabe Anderson.
I'm Jake Overall.
Have a good night, everybody.